All right, let's get this started. Thanks, guys. Sweet. All right. Well, for those of you that didn't win, hopefully what you get out of the class outweighs the prize that you had your heart set on. We'll hope for that, okay? So I'm going to tell you guys a story to get started. I'm a big story guy. If those of you who have been or repeat attenders haven't figured that out yet, I'm into stories because I believe stories are a great way to really get a message across. So this one's a personal story. Just over spring break, as some of you know, patients of mine took my family. We went to spring break. We took a trip out to Colorado. So we went to the mountains, met my parents there. They're real close. It's a great little spot for us to meet. And took my boys, I gave them like a survey. And I said, all right, guys, here's like 5 things we can do. We can't do all 5, but if you were going to pick between fly fishing, horse riding, maybe riding doing a bicycle tour, doing a couple other things, or snow skiing, because it's still the beginning of April, which would you pick? Anybody know what they picked?
Snow skiing.
Snow skiing, yes. Which we've done before, but they've only snow skied in Lisle. So who's snow skied in Lisle? Okay, there's no mountains in Lisle, in case you didn't know that. There's a big hill that's not nearly like a mountain. So I was like, all right, we can do this. They've done that before. We'll be fine. So we get geared up. We pull into town the day before we're going skiing. They get 8 inches of snow at the mountain the night before. I'm like, yes, it's going to be perfect conditions. Because in the spring, it can get so hot, it gets icy, the snow gets all slick, and it can be disastrous. So I'm like, perfect, we're set up. So the boys, I'm getting them all pumped up. I'm like, we're going to have amazing snow. It's going to be incredible. We're driving up. I mean, the roads are even a little slick, so I'm like, this is going to be great. So we get to the lodge. We get our equipment. We get everything geared up. I got to show you this picture. So, I mean, we forgot goggles. The wind was blowing a little bit, so thank goodness it was the end of the season. The goggles were like $15. Normally, they're like 90. So we're getting like, I'm like, oh my gosh, we got new goggles for $15. I'm all excited, right? This is the selfie before it all starts. You guys ready? Okay. From that point forward, it did not go great. No pun intended. Yeah, right. Downhill, to say the least. Within a 15-minute time frame from that selfie, we were on a chairlift. My 11-year-old, I forgot to tell him to stand up when you get off the chairlift. You actually have to stand. If you stay seated, you stay on the chairlift. And he's recognizing this as the ground's getting further away from him, so he bails. It wasn't that high. It was only like this. And the chairlift hits him in the helmet, so they give helmets. Thank God, that must be why. Embarrassed, he's bawling. I'm like, all right, great, good start. Everything's going to be okay. Next thing you know, he's up, he's recovered, we got the emotions back in check. I kid you not, 10 seconds, he takes his first corner, face plant into the trees, mess. No injury, just up here, a mess. I'm like, great. So my other son, he's already halfway down the mountain, he's loving life. He's like, this is the greatest thing ever. All right, Trevor, he's kind of struggling. So we kind of limp down the mountain. I'm like, just let's hang out here, just kind of get their things together. I'll go a couple times with Ashton, whatever. He goes, no, stay with me. I go, all right, Ashton, well, short run. You go by yourself a couple times. Just take that same little path down. Seems like a smart idea, right? Let a 12-year-old that knows what he's doing do that. Wasn't a good idea. I look up. Here comes Ashton walking down the mountain with one ski on his shoulder, and he's walking down the mountain. And I'm like, well, he's walking. That's a good thing. But he's only got one ski. That's a bad thing. So, long story short, it went from that to then just a mess within like 30 minutes, okay? So I'm into pep talk mode. I'm like, we got to get these guys back on track, all right? So I'm like, guys, remember, what did you say you wanted to do? You wanted to do what the most? We wanted to go skiing. Right. We don't want to do that now. I'm like, I know that. But we can still do this. So we did a little recoup, hit the bunny slope, to get our confidence up. The one boy got rammed by a little kid at the bunny slope in the back, so that was another injury. Go in, grab a little food. We were a little hangry. You guys know what hangry is, right? When you're hungry and angry, it's together. And then starting to smile. Things are coming around. I'm like, perfect. We're laughing about what just happened. This is a good thing. So we get back over the bunny slope. 2 more runs. Next thing you know, We're on the lift again. I told him, well, have them slow it down when you get off. Trev, don't worry. He goes, they'll do that? I go, yeah, they'll do that. So they did it. We got off, and then next thing you know, here's the... Oh, sorry, that was Trevor when he was pouting. I forgot to show you when he wasn't enjoying life. Yes, I took a picture. My wife's upset about that. But this is us now on the lift, loving life. Asked them after the fact, what was your favorite part of the trip? What was their answer? Ski. Now, 30 minutes in, it was absolutely their worst part of the trip. But I tell you that story because they wanted to go skiing, and something that I want to parallel with our health, okay, and I bring that around. You guys are probably, why are you telling me this story? Is because if you've ever heard the song, You Can't Always Get What You Want, you guys heard that song? It's old school, I know, but I believe it's not true. I believe you can never get what you want. You can only get what you're committed to. So when you're committed to something, that means you will not ever what? Give up. You will never stop. You will do whatever it takes. You will not let the mountain beat you. So with our health, sometimes we want to be healthy. We want to maybe lose weight. We want to have energy. We want to go to the chiropractor and not miss appointments. We want. But until we make that commitment that we'll do whatever it takes, we're never going to get there. And that's what Trevor learned, thank goodness, because he was ready to throw the skis away, and he was like done. But he worked through it. And I believe in this room you guys will do the same thing, okay? So a little bit there, that tonight we're going to create some commitment, right? With you guys being here, that tells me one thing. You're what? You're a committed type of a person. You showed up here. The sun's shining last I checked. It's beautiful out. You could be walking in the park, doing all kinds of things with your family. You're here to learn something. So by nature, that tells me you guys are absolutely committed people here for results, okay? So let me show you this picture here, because a lot of you don't know who I am, and I want you to know where I'm coming from. You see this man right here, that was my grandfather. His name is Howard. And I thought I chose a profession. You guys ever thought that? Oh, what do I want to do when I grow up? To make a living. Well, little did I know that my grandfather, who struggled with back pain, struggled with health issues, struggled with prescription medications to cover up those symptoms, literally to the point of his liver failing and dying from all the pain pills that he was taking, that when I look back and see that when I was a junior in high school filling out this little career search thing on a computer, and up popped chiropractor, and I'd never been to one, didn't know anything about it, and my grandfather made fun of them, called them witch doctors and quacks, and my dad followed suit, did the same thing. I had no idea that later on in life there would be a moment where I'd realize when my dad would tell me the story about him and what he struggled with, and he said, you know what I believe, son? He says, I believe your grandfather chose you to do this, and he filled out that career search survey for you. Because what I've found is this: when people learn the truth about health and the fact, number one, they start to believe in themselves and their body's ability to heal, and they know they can do it, and they believe they're worthy of it, which is another issue, but you can get there, okay? You are worthy of health and healing. And then you can see that we don't need to mask things. We can absolutely get function, be our best, but we've got to get some information. We've got to apply that information, and we've got to be committed. And that's when I realized I'm not in a profession. And that's why it's so easy to get up. People say, oh, you're so busy. It must be a long day. I hear stuff like this all the time. Like, I don't feel like it's a long day because I don't feel like I'm at work. I feel like I'm here for you guys, for people who need help, who want further their health. And that's why I believe I was chosen to do this. So I'm here for you tonight. And we're going to have some fun, but we're also going to, not have a comedy session, but we'll have some fun, put some light to the topic, but without a doubt get some progress made so that y'all can walk out that door with something, at least one thing. Would that be okay? If you're left with one thing to help with your hormone balance, right? You're going to see why it's so messed up and what you can do about it tonight. There's no doubt about that. And my prayer is that you're going to walk away with that, okay? So to do that, a couple things. We're going to get into the overview here in just a minute, but what I found is this. So if you've ever heard me use the analogy where the two people go to the gym, anybody heard that one, right? So two people go to the gym, one just stares in the mirror and watches TV, and the other one actually works out. Who gets better results? the workout, the participator, right? So tonight, if I'm asking questions and engaging you, play along. I mean, engage, because with your health, it's the same thing. Learning, it's the same thing. If you want to write things down, that's why I now give at every class we do, everybody gets a paper and a pen, because I encourage you to write things down that just inks it right into your subconscious, okay? So do that. You're going to get the most out of it, okay? Because I know that's why you came, is to get those results. So what did I just do to my thing? Hang on here. There we go. Okay. Sorry. All right, so hormones. We're going to talk about those tonight. The endocrine system is what makes hormones. Everybody with that? So you've got these glands in your body, throughout your brain and everywhere else, that make hormones. And hormones are chemical messengers. Everybody got that? Chemical what? Messengers. So your hormone system is like second in command when we look at your body and how it functions. Your brain and your central nervous system, that's chief command central number one. So that's number one in command is your brain central nervous system, telling your entire body what to do, right? So the messages go over the spinal cord, out the nerves, telling everything what to do, including your thyroid gland, your spleen, your pancreas, reproductive organs, etc. Right? It's telling them what to do. They're sending feedback back, and that's your central nervous system. Now, when we get to your hormone system, now we get into chemicals. This is where chemicals then are messengers, and they're going to find receptors, talk to them, tell them what to do. Everybody got that? Okay, pretty simple. I've really kept this chart simple for a reason, as we don't want to go back to endocrinology, which was one of my least favorite classes, by the way, because they didn't ever teach it in a fashion that applied to people's health when we went to school, of course. It was just learning pathways and things like that. So now that I understand hormones and what we're doing to ourselves, oh my gosh, I wish I could go back and take that class so I could really, I would have paid a lot more attention. But now that we know this, here's the thing. So at the top, this is called your hypothalamus control tower. Everybody say hypothalamus? Hypothalamus. It's in your brain. And to keep it simple, it lets a chemical down, a hormone, which goes to the pituitary gland, which is right in the middle of the brain pretty much. Pituitary gland, very important, your pituitary gland, because it's sending out messengers to all these other places, including your thyroid, including your adrenal glands, including your ovaries, your uterus, including your gonads in the male and the prostate. So all these chemicals are coming down out of there, and then they're going to communicate to the gland to release certain things like testosterone or estrogen in the male. In the female, estrogen, progesterone, a little bit of testosterone. In the adrenals, cortisol, DHEA, aldosterone. In the thyroid, T4, T3, calcitonin. We're going to focus on some of the major players tonight being your thyroid gland, cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, and a little bit about testosterone. Okay? Because those are so key. Those are like the major ones, especially that get affected when you have issues, all right? So everybody got that? Okay, that's the overview, all right, of kind of hormones and communication. Now, we're not going to have a test on that, so don't worry about it, but it'll all make sense, I promise, okay? So we're going to get into now the three causes tonight of what makes an imbalance happen in the hormones. Right? Everybody with me? So now, number one is going to be hormone disruptors. Everybody say disruptor. Disruptor. Yes. Standard American diet. Say that's SAD. S-A-D. That's SAD. And then third, last but not least, physical nerve stress. S word. Stress. Yes.
Are we going to get the slides tonight?
Absolutely. There's going to be a way you'll get the slides, no doubt about it. It'll be through the Eventbrite email. So if you're not on that, make sure before you leave we get you on there. Okay? So here we go. We're going to talk hormone disruptors first. So have you guys ever heard of like slang terms like kids talk about, oh, he's just a wannabe or a poser, like acting as if, acting like somebody else, right? So with hormones, there's also wannabes. So does anybody know who that is? Everybody knows it's Taylor Swift, right? She's won I don't know how many awards. So that's Taylor Swift. Is that Taylor Swift? No. That's a wannabe. So why do I show you that? Because with hormones, there are things that get into your body that try to mimic estrogen specifically, many other hormones, but especially estrogen, they get in and act like it in your body, and they fool your body to think that it's estrogen. What those are called are xenoestrogens. Starts with an X, okay? Xenoestrogens. So here's a graphic to show you. So the purple circle is estrogen. It comes in. This is a receptor that it binds to, and then it sends the message into the cell of what to do and how to react. When we look at a xenoestrogen, the same thing. That same receptor will grab that. It'll go right to that same receptor. It'll send a message, but we've got a problem, don't we? That thing doesn't know what message to send. It's also sending too many messages. It's overloading things, overwhelming things, and it's creating imbalance. You see, your hormone system is like a symphony. If you've ever seen a symphony orchestra work, and if something's off just a little bit, it'll throw off the entire thing. And that's what's so important to understand about your hormones, okay? So we've got to realize, because that's one of the arguments, is, oh, it's just a little bit, it's just a little bit. Not exactly, because a little bit means a lot. Everybody with me? So where do you think all these pretenders, right, the mimickers, the wannabes, where do you think those come from? How do you get those? Anybody know? Food source, that would be one. We'll talk about specifics in a minute. Stress, absolutely. Plastic/chemicals, toxins, absolutely. Drugs, absolutely. Right? You guys, we all know this. This is what's exciting. I love it. So we're just bringing to the surface common sense stuff, but let's get a little specific, okay? So specifically, when we talk about foods and toxins in foods, specifically, soy actually is an estrogen mimicking food. So it's not a chemical that's in soy, but soy itself is an estrogen mimicker. So too much soy can be very bad. In fact, what they found is, especially with baby formula, when a baby's drinking I think it was an 8-ounce bottle of soy formula, is equivalent to, in an estrogen effect, of if the baby took 5 birth control pills, of the effect on the endocrine system and its reaction. So very important to understand. So we want to limit that, and it's important that we watch how much of that we put in. Factory farmed meats, commercial meats, right? Animal products, and dairy. What do they put in the dairy milk that you buy, just right off the shelf at Jewel for $2.99 or $1.99? Hormones. So they don't pour the hormone in the milk, but they're injecting it in the cow, right? So that regular milk's full of this RBGH, a lot of it. So you'll see, oh, we don't use RBGH now in Oberweis and a bunch of places, because they understand that people are educated and they know that it's not bad. Pesticides, herbicides, these chemicals that are on produce when we ingest them mimic estrogen. Everybody got that? Important to understand. Now, let's go from the store, we'll go right into your house. So you met, if you didn't get into the partner room there, if you got to meet Beauty Counter and Robin, you got a little education on this, I'm sure. But things like detergents, plastics, we already heard that one, especially if you put food in a plastic container, put it in storage, then throw that puppy in the microwave. When you heat those plastics, that's when the phthalates and other things come out, and it's not good. Parabens, big time in cosmetics, sunscreens, other personal care products, even obviously things like shampoos, body sprays, body lotions, all this stuff that we put on our skin affects it. So tell me something, just a sidebar. So if somebody goes for instance, like some hormone replacement or hormone treatment of some type, how do they usually give that to you, in what form many times? Cream. And you put it right on your skin, and it literally can change your entire hormone levels just by putting a little hormone cream on your skin. Same concept with everything else you put on your skin, your body. So important to understand. So I can't stress enough that fact. So keep that one in mind. Styrofoam, that's another one. Never put that stuff in the microwave or even use the stuff, to be quite honest, all right? Basically what we've done with all of this overloading of estrogens, xenoestrogens, and the mimickers, we're turning our society into an estrogen-dominant society for the most part. We're also forcing menses in women to younger and younger and younger ages. So now girls are having their periods younger and younger than ever. That's not just an accident. That's because of this. As well, when we talk about menopause, it's happening earlier and earlier and earlier. Things are changing in our bodies chemically because of all this overwhelm with all these players, the ones that aren't the players, and they're trying to act like they're Taylor Swift when they're not Taylor Swift. You get it? So, very, very important. So I got a little video here, and this one, I want to thank Emily from Beauty Counter because she gave me the link for this video, and this is from their health and safety division. So it's just a little 2-minute clip on this concept, okay?
Hi, I'm Mia Davis, Head of Health and Safety at Beauty Counter. Did you know it's perfectly legal for companies to use chemicals linked to cancer and hormone disruption in cosmetics and other products that we use every day? Well, it is. And at Beauty Counter, we think this is unacceptable. It's our mission to get safer products in the hands of everyone and to serve as an educational resource for you as you try to reduce your exposure to toxic chemicals. Maybe you've heard of the terms carcinogen or hormone disruptor. Well, I'm going to spend a minute today just talking about what these things are and how you can avoid them. Hormone disruptors or endocrine disruptors are chemicals that can interfere with the body's endocrine system. This is a very complex and important system. It regulates our mood, growth, development, sexual function, reproductive health, and even metabolism. So even slight changes to the hormone system can have big effects. Some chemicals act as mimics and can fool the body into a response. Others act as blockers and can cause the overproduction or underproduction of hormones in our bodies. Any of these changes can potentially have big effects on our reproductive, our developmental, our neurological, or our immune systems. Some people say, aren't these really small amounts of hormone disruptors that we're talking about? And the answer is yes. But small amounts can be even more dangerous than large amounts. This is because the body makes and regulates and responds to really small amounts of hormones in our daily lives naturally. So when we're exposed to hormone disruptors in small amounts throughout the day, it can fool the body into responding. Hormone disruptors are found in a wide variety of products and places. DDT and other pesticides are often hormone disruptors. These are found in our food system and even in our backyards. Bisphenol A, or BPA, is a potent hormone disruptor that's used as the building block of polycarbonate plastics, that hard, clear plastic. It's also in the resins that line food cans, so use caution when eating canned foods. Parabens are another kind of hormone disruptor. Those are preservatives very common in the cosmetic industry. Phthalates, which are common in fragrance, in personal care products, and in household cleaning products, those have been linked to reproductive toxicity and hormone disruption. We hope you found this information helpful. Please share it with those who matter to you most. See you next time.
Hi, my name is Araceli Jimenez, and I came to chiropractic care because I felt like I had nothing to lose. I was automatically at the bottom of the pool and I needed help. And I took a class at Moraine Valley, actually 4 classes, and they were all from Dr. Ochsner. And I came in, and from, I believe it was April of 2008 and to today, I have become a completely different person. I have much more energy. I lost over 40 pounds. I am sitting straighter. I just have a better outlook in life. I don't know how else to explain it to you, but this huge smile, I haven't seen this smile in any picture since I was 5.
Araceli, you said you were at the bottom of the pool before coming here. What was going on? What type of different health issues did you have going on?
I was depressed and I was on Zoloft, and I was also diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which meant that my female hormones were just definitely not where they should be. I was also at the bottom ring of, well, I was close to diabetic, and I was reaching very high levels of what the doctor called thyroid hyperactivity, which meant that my thyroid could actually just go at any moment. So I didn't know where else to go. I am no longer in the polycystic ovarian syndrome zone. My thyroid has, within 4 months, have gone to normal, which has puzzled my doctor, which I absolutely loved. Also, I'm no longer on my depression medication. Actually, within 3 months of my chiropractic care, I was off the pills, and I've been smiling ever since. Let's see, what else? God, absolutely. I came in crying, and I leave here every day smiling like you can't believe.